Is it okay to buy recycled plastic t-shirts? The answer seems kind of obvious. The world is on fire, everything is dying, the oceans are full of plastic. Why wouldn't you want to take a bottle, shred it down into fibers and create a nice plastic t-shirt? Nothing goes to landfill, nothing goes in the ocean, everybody wins, right? Not really. I think the problem here is everybody is looking at this massive pile of plastic waste we've created and they're freaking out. They're trying to turn it into whatever they can. Their intentions are good, but their products usually aren't. It's really difficult to recycle plastic. We can't take a plastic water bottle and turn it into another plastic water bottle yet. So one of the easiest things we can do is shred plastic into tiny pieces. The issue is when we throw those pieces into products that didn't have to be plastic. Like roads, we're throwing these pieces into tarmac and there's no real reason to do this other than to try and get rid of it. But the problem with that is that as these roads break down, all of that microplastic is going to be released into the ecosystem and make its way into the ocean. Honestly, you may as well just take all those pieces and throw them straight into the ocean. Or we can shred it into fibers, which we then turn into fabric. And now it feels like we're really getting onto something, because synthetic fabric has properties that natural fabric just can't do. At the moment, natural fabric can't be waterproof, it can't be stretchy, and it can't be shiny, but synthetic plastic fabric can. The issue is that we're not really seeing a lot of manufacturers making clothes that have to be synthetic. Instead, we're taking our plastic and recycling it into jeans, t-shirts, and rugs. These items never had to be made of plastic. And there are three really big issues with this. Number one, plastic is dangerous, and scientists are looking into if it's safe to even wear. Number two, all clothes shed fibers all the time. The problem is when those clothes are made of plastic, they're shedding microplastic fibers everywhere, all the time, everywhere you go. And this gets even worse when you wash them in the washing machine. All of that movement makes them shed a lot more. The fibers go into the water system, into our drinking water, and into our oceans. And there are really good products out there that are trying to stop this. I'll link them below, they're very important, please use them. But they don't catch all of them. The only way to make sure your t-shirt doesn't shed a single microplastic fiber is to make sure it's not made of plastic in the first place. Number three, nothing has been saved from landfill or from the ocean. Everybody leaves out the part of the story where the t-shirt wears out. Let's say you recycle it. Every time plastic is recycled, it goes down a level. So we can't take a plastic t-shirt and create another plastic t-shirt. We could cut it into rags. We could shred it to create stuffing for car interiors or furniture. And that buys us a little bit more time, but those items will wear out too. Because the fabric has plastic in it, it can't be composted because the fabrics won't degrade. So it has to go to landfill. And it's the same story with so many plastic products. Rugs made from plastic water bottles will not last forever. Eventually, they will find their way to landfill. And because the fibers are made of plastic, they are never going to decompose and they have plenty of time to find their way into the ocean. This is greenwashing. People are patting themselves on the back for all of their amazing solutions, but they achieve nothing. And if you think that's depressing, it gets worse. There is no solution. We cannot destroy plastic. If we recycle it, it carries on polluting the earth in other ways. If we burn it, it releases a ton of toxic fumes and you end up with a pile of burnt plastic. If we bury it in landfill, it never decomposes and it pollutes the soil. And I know there are all of these exciting news articles about these worms and this bacteria that can destroy plastic. But when you read past the headline, it's not destroying plastic. These things are breaking plastic down into its base components. And from those base components, you can create more plastic, which is really exciting. This means in the future, we will be able to take a plastic water bottle and create another plastic water bottle. But that isn't destroying the plastic. So for now, we need to switch our focus. Stop focusing on the big pile of trash we've already created and start focusing on all of the factories that are creating 800,000 tons of new plastic every single day. Imagine we're in a bathroom. The bath is overflowing, the room is flooding, the water's coming up over our ankles. We are all trying so desperately hard to mop up the floor. No one's thought about just turning off the damn tap. Luckily, the majority of plastic is easy to cut out. Plastic water bottles, we do not need them. Plastic food packaging, we can get around it. Plastic toiletries packaging, we can get around that as well. Unfortunately, there are some things we haven't found a solution for yet. Like I mentioned before, fabrics that need to perform, whether that's with stretchiness or waterproof. There's a lot of medical waste, there's a lot of scientific research waste, and there's a lot of safety equipment that right now can only be made of plastic. I'm sure one day we will figure out a way around all of these. But for now, it makes the most sense to look at this big pile of plastic trash we've created and turn it into products that need to be made of plastic. And there are so many possibilities. We could take our big trash pile and recycle it into nylon. That way we can make underwear, shapewear, bras, sportswear, swimwear, a ton of other things. Or we could recycle it into polypropylene. That way we can get our medical equipment and our sterilized packaging. If we recycled it into nylon, we could make toothbrushes, umbrellas, coats, bags, tights, electric plugs, fishing line, so many different things. This is effective recycling. This is what turns off the tap and stops the creation of new plastic. And that is the single most important thing that we can do right now. And it's easy to get involved. Number one, when you see a plastic recycled product that is promising to be the solution to all of our problems, be suspicious. Does this product have to be made of plastic, or are there plastic-free alternatives? Is this a rubbish attempt to mop the floor, or are we actually turning off the tap? Number two, when you need to buy something that has to be made of plastic, search for a supplier who creates it from recycled plastic. And if it doesn't exist yet, keep on searching for it. If we're all out there relentlessly Googling for recycled underwear, eventually a smart business person is going to take note of those analytics and do something about it. Number three, when you need to buy something that doesn't have to be made of plastic, look for a plastic-free alternative. It might be an easy switch, it might be a tricky switch. The important thing is to keep at it. Again, your searches are going to create demand if the product doesn't already exist. And if the product does exist and you buy it, you're just going to feel like a plastic-free unicorn and everything's going to be amazing. And that's how we're going to save the world. Yay, we did it. And yeah, that's it for this week. See you next week. I am brand new to YouTube, so if you could subscribe, I would love it so much. And that's it. Bye. You good boy. You good boy. You want to say hello? You want to say hello to the camera? Yes? Yes, you do. You clever boy.